Hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good whatever time it is in your neck of the woods. My name is Stephen D. Comics. If you're watching this, you probably already know that. Even after all this time, still not really good with figuring out good intros. But yes, today's stream, as you noticed, is a little different from normal. Rather than starting a new game after finishing the last one, I'm just here chatting about an update I'm making. Yeah, I'm never really been good about the just chatting kind of streams. Not really the sort of thing I expected to be doing all the time, but I felt like this one's important because there's some changes I'm making that I've been preparing for a little bit. Stream-wise, if anyone's curious, because that's been a thing recently, it should be okay. Like, I checked the Wi-Fi right before, very briefly, but it's in the green. It didn't look any bad. Honestly, even if it weren't, wouldn't be that big a deal. This is an audio stream. There's no need to actually sit here and watch my, simple little model with my, generic background, even though I don't really show it off all that much, especially since I stopped making shorts, so, excuse me. So that's, something, I guess, but yeah, if the stream ends up getting buggy, we'll power through it. You only need to hear me, not see me. So, kind of teetering around the topic a little bit, but, yes, there's gonna be some changes around here that I've been thinking about, honestly, since at least before the 1 year mark in streaming for me. Before 1 year since I started being a VTuber, but it was during my recent vacation that I molded over and I really started to like the idea more. So yeah, I've been making some plans and adjusting some plans for the past month about, and I even put together a Google Doc to guide my speech here beyond this little improvised preamble. And this stream is basically just gonna be a reading of that Google Doc. I'm gonna post it everywhere on my socials later, and I'll put a link in the description of this stream afterwards. I figured I'd make it a surprise what it is, but yeah, so I'll just get to the reading portion. And so yes, it's a Google Doc that I'm reading that I'm posting, and since Twitlonger is no longer a thing, the new norm for VTuber posting a big old Google Doc talking about their content creation stuff and plans, we've seen that kind of thing a lot, especially if you're on Twitter. I'd say Blue Sky, but I don't know if Blue Sky's been around long enough to see that. But yeah, if you're on Twitter, it's usually kind of a big, oh no, something's going down. Either someone's graduating or they're apologizing or calling out someone else. Something major happened, big drama or serious issue being brought to light. No, none of that. There's nothing serious going on, nothing drastic, and probably most importantly about this specific change, I am not graduating. Do y'all hear me? I am not graduating. This is not a graduation notice. I have no desire to quit VTubing at all, and I have absolutely no desire to quit content creation in any capacity. Yeah, sorry. Trying to think about the placement and the flow of this Google Doc. I think I'm fine with the way it was, but usually when I'm thinking I have no plans to quit content creation at all, I have more to say on that, but I'll elaborate in a little bit. But in regards to this specifically, not graduating, don't want to quit VTubing, don't want to quit content creation, but I'm finding myself in a situation that I know VTubers have experienced in the past, or any newer VTubers, if you haven't yet, you will ultimately find yourself in this specific or in at least this general situation. But usually that situation is where you might ask yourself, why am I still VTubing? As for me personally, I'm not asking that specific question. When that comes up to me, I already know why I'm VTubing, why I'm still VTubing. I just really enjoy having this model, like having this character to portray myself with my content creation escapades, rather than just using myself with a webcam or a camera, anything showing like my actual self. I mean, this model is literally just me. I don't really put on a character or anything. I just drew myself as I see myself as a cartoon in my art style. But even still, I like this portrayal of myself. Like, I like showing off my content like this as a way to express myself. And I also do enjoy playing video games, recording myself playing video games, and making stupid commentary and crappy attempts at jokes while I do so. And despite how tedious and monotonous the editing process can be, I actually really like making videos. I've enjoyed cobbling together the few highlights and shorts that I've made, and the Smash Brothers Countdown videos. I liked doing that. There were parts that I might not have liked all that much, but it was still satisfying to do and fun. Like, I like that. And I like having this other avenue of content creation besides just my webcomics, because I need something to just explore and go beyond just the webcomic thing a little bit, because the webcomic thing and just drawing in general felt a little too narrow. I felt like I wanted to do more, and I've always wanted to do video-based content creation. I've been feverishly watching YouTube videos for like a decade and a half at this point, like a good chunk of my life. Like, it may not be perfect by any means. YouTube does have a fair share of problems, and I will say that as much as I want on this site, make my voice heard, but I like doing this. So, yeah, my thing isn't the question of why I'm still VTubing. My question is, why am I still live streaming? I'm sure that's probably, like, differentiating those might sound odd to a lot of you. Because, like, just about everyone getting into VTubing is doing it to also get into live streaming. Like, it seems to be that's how it is. And that's how even I perceived it in the beginning. Because the way I see it is, like, from what I understand, live streaming has just been getting more and more popular starting around, I think probably when I was in college. At least that's the earliest I can think of when I had started seeing more and more people doing live streams, and I started watching VODs. And it's something that I've talked about this in past streams and other stuff, like I think shorts too. But I'm kind of an odd one out in that I don't really watch live streams. That's not really I don't really think it's really that much of a secondary outlet for where I watch content. Hardly anyone that I am interested in watching is actually live when I have the time, and even then I don't really have the time to stick around. Like, I might be doing other stuff, like I have work, or if it's a game or something that I'm like really invested in that I need to actually watch and can't just listen, then I want to switch to something else so I can have something on in the background while I'm drawing. Or I have other shows like new anime or another show that updated that I wanted to watch. But if it is something that I'm interested in, I'll try and squeeze in time to watch it, but I'll usually just watch the VOD, and typically I'll watch that through YouTube. Especially since Twitch still has their weird thing about if you're not a partner, then VODs won't be saved on your streams for forever, which has always been kind of bizarre to me. Like, especially I feel like at that point, you might as well just make a YouTube channel so your VODs will be saved forever. But besides that, more often than not, like, the the best I can do is just watch highlight videos from those live streams, which, if you ask me, VTubers do not do that enough. Like, there are plenty of indie VTubers that do it, but there are a lot of other ones like corpo live streamers that I would like to watch more of, but it would be great if they had, highlight videos, but they don't. They should. So either do that, or, like I mentioned earlier, have a VOD on in the background while I'm drawing something, or doing webcomic work, or scrolling through Twitter and Blue Sky. But in spite of all that, when I started VTubing, and I went with the plan of getting into live streaming. I didn't even question it. Like, the only thing that changed was immediately after I made my Twitch channel, I decided to stream on YouTube, because that was when, it was shortly after that, Twitch made the announcement of the change in the revenue split, and it was enough to discourage me. Excuse me. Gonna be talking a lot, so need to drink. But yeah, I didn't even question it. And I guess I just figured because live streaming was so popular that it would be, that it made sense that I would finally get on the bandwagon. You know, whether VTubing or not, that would kind of be the thing if I was gonna get into video content. But here I am now. A second. Yeah, so here I am now, right about a year and a half into live streaming. I have an average average live view count of, and this is me being generous, 1 viewer per stream. Especially recently, I feel like I hardly ever even break through 1, and hardly any more people watching VODs or any of my other videos. And also dealing with iffy Wi-Fi connections, especially recently. All of that, and I find myself here making this announcement. And especially with that remark about the viewer thing, it's difficult to find the right words to convey what I'm trying to do or this change without putting myself in a bad light. Like, I feel like the way I'm trying to word this is, it's difficult without making myself really look bad, especially for up-and-coming VTubers and live streamers, the newbies who are like me and trying to get big on this scene. But I really have to be honest, brutally honest here. I don't see the point in going live if I know that I'm not gonna have a lot of viewers, whether they're active or just lurkers, or even just any viewers at all. Like, if I'm already going into this and I know that no one's watching, then I just don't see the point. But that's normal. I know that that is a normal thing for lots of people, especially independent streamers and live and VTubers, to deal with. I know that that's normal. And even for streamers that are popular now, that's been a thing. Like I've watched plenty of Iron Mouse to know that there are a lot of big names, big names in the VTubing scene, especially if they were independent before, having like no audience when they started out. And give it some time and boom, you can't get into VTube, do anything with VTubing without at least hearing the name Iron Mouse. So, like, that's a thing. It's not new. I've seen plenty of people talking about that sort of thing all this time, and it's not a new thing for me. Like, I know that that's a thing. Not having an active audience when you start out doing this stuff is a thing. I have been posting webcomics for almost 9 years. It will have been 9 years as of May 25th. So I have been drawing and posting my drawings and comics online for just about 9 years now, and I still don't have an active following. I hardly even have, like, a silent following, I guess, like, that equivalent of lurkers, I guess. And yes, it would be nice for people to actually see my stuff, to have an active audience, to be big, but even if I do think about it, and maybe it bugs me a little bit, on the whole, it actually doesn't bother me all that much. I've never been that perturbed by the lack of audience I have, because I like to draw. I like to make comics, make up stories, and as of recently, record myself acting like an idiot on video and cracking dumb jokes. I just love making all of that and just sharing it. Just having that out there just feels satisfying for me. And I know there are a lot of people that go into this stuff wanting the notoriety and fame, but it's like, it helps if you actually enjoy what you're doing alongside of that. And if you do enjoy it, and if you really are, and more to the point, if you really are determined to try and make it as a content creator and as a live streamer, in spite of what I said about lack of views, do it. Go for it. Put in the time and effort to make content, to put yourself out there, and more importantly, to learn as you go. Keep learning from what you've been doing right, what's not quite working, and especially what you do wrong. Learn from it and grow, and constantly, and keep changing. Keep willing to adjust to, well, it's kind of tough because you should stay true to yourself and make the content that you want to make, but as long as you, like, try and grow and evolve as a creator, as a person, be willing to try new things. I don't know, it's kind of, I'm not great with talking. It's another reason why I was kind of doomed to failure at the start, but, you know, you keep trying and keep learning, then there will be a chance for you in the creative space. You gotta find the courage to put yourself out there with the stuff that you make, and especially, and even for reaching out with others, because there are all kinds of people out there, and there are even bad people that get involved in the creative space, but there are good people out there if you look hard enough, and if you're careful enough, but it does take a bit of courage to get out there. And also, let's not kid ourselves here. There is also a bit of luck. Luck is a factor, whether you like to admit it or not. Hard work will help. Like, you still have to put some degree of effort into there, because even if you have the luck to be noticed, like, it may not, that won't carry you everywhere without actually, like, putting a decent amount of effort in there. But I just feel like it's important to note that there is luck in it. But yeah, like, I keep trying to talk in hypotheticals for what other people could do, or for other people's perspective, but I'm giving an update on my thing, and trying to convey my own experience and my own stuff. So, as for me specifically in all this, I for sure have a lot of learning and growing to do. And if you've noticed, for anyone, any other of the VTubers that I follow on Twitter that happen to be watching this, if you know that we're following each other, because I know I got a few mutuals out there that we follow, might interact with on their posts a little bit, especially me. I know I like as many as I post as I can. I show my support. But yet, I haven't tried to reach out to you at all. Like, yeah, I'm aware. I still have trouble having the courage to reach out to other VTubers, trying to get to know people. I've got my own bit of social anxiety I'm still struggling to get over. But yeah, I still have a lot of learning and growing in content creation in general, especially with the video aspect and VTubing. But with live streaming specifically, I'm sorry, but I just don't think it's really for me. At least not right now. And, like, sure, there's, like, the average one viewer per stream, if I'm being generous, but I do get viewers every so often. Usually, like, one, maybe two. But I'll even get a viewer that does chat. That does actually comment and say something. Which is cool, and I appreciate the effort, but I guess it's another little thing with me that I feel like it puts me a little on edge. Like it might be just, I've been so used to streaming and just doing VTubing and all this without any kind of interaction or anyone else speaking up or even just lurking. But I feel like I've just gotten comfortable with not having viewers and just doing my own thing. Like, I'm actually kind of fine with just doing that. With just doing my thing without an audience. And in some ways, I might argue that I've gotten a bit too comfortable, because I try to live up to the whole cartoon aesthetic and try to be fun, funny, and even a bit chaotic and wacky. The few times I do feel a little awkward, but a lot of the times I'm kinda just chill, just playing and vibing, just more of a hangout, which is not a bad thing at all. Like, some people are into that, and sometimes, and especially if you're doing content creation, streaming and playing video games for videos or live streams constantly, sometimes it's fine to just have a hangout and just not really put on airs or stuff out there. It's just, sometimes you need to just chill and hang out. It's just, I'm just saying it's different from what I came into this to do, and different from how I try to convey myself a little, you know? But just again, make it clear, I really like everything else about VTubing and making videos and doing this. It's just the live streaming aspect of it that's not really hitting it for me like it does for most other people, and possibly even for VTubers who graduated outright. Like, I don't really know a lot of their business, but I have to wonder how many of them were quitting just because they weren't as big a fan of the live streaming aspect of it, or the live streaming stuff specifically. Though I suppose there could have been other stuff. Again, I don't know people. I don't want to make assumptions, but I just feel like that's kind of a discussion I don't really see happening much about the live streaming aspect of it separately from VTubing. And at least with me, with my situation, playing games to essentially an imaginary audience, that most likely would just wind up watching the VODs or any of my recordings that I post on YouTube after, it just feels like a glorified it feels like these streams are just glorified Let's Play videos. It just feels like I might as well just make Let's Play videos and just not bother with the live streaming part of it. And when I did finally have that realization, I really had to ask myself, why did I not just think of that in the first place? I have a lot of realizations like that, but the most prevalent is this one. Run a Let's Play YouTube channel. Make pre-recorded Let's Play videos. It's like, no duh. It makes so much more sense to me and my situation to do that. And not just with the lack of live viewers thing. The majority of the content that I watch, VTubers, live streamers, gamers, essayists, historians, whatever, it's mostly through pre-recorded YouTube videos, stream VODs, highlights. I have been watching YouTube videos, as I've said, for probably over 15 years at this point. Or at least close. Something like that. There's something around 15 years. Like, I still enjoy just the old Let's Play video format, rather than just livestream VODs. Game Grumps. I have been watching Game Grumps for almost a decade now. They've only streamed a couple of times, and even with the rise of live streams over the past couple of years, they are still doing Let's Play videos, and they are still going strong with Let's Play videos. And there are plenty of other channels that still do. So why shouldn't I just resort to that? But, probably as good as time to mention another reason for me to not do live streams. And if you've been watching the past couple of streams or followed me on my socials and seeing my sudden stream cancellations or adjustment to plans, you know one of those reasons: Wi-Fi. I stream with Wi-Fi, and I have issues, more commonly with the weather, but recently the Wi-Fi here has just had these weird, spotty moments. And a lot of the times, especially recently, streams have been fine, but there have been these just weird fluctuations of quality with the Wi-Fi connection when there shouldn't be. Or at least, from where I stand, it shouldn't be. And I've talked about my streaming situation, why I stream with Wi-Fi. But if you haven't heard already, and you're going into this, leaving comments, or posting in the replies to the Google Doc that I'm reading, and wanting to say anything about it, I'll explain again. I am currently living at my parents' house. And in this house, my stream setup is in the one room of the house that it was made after we had moved in, quite a few years after we had moved in, that was made to be mostly soundproof. It was, we made this room originally as like a music room for my brothers to play guitar and drums and stuff like that, and eventually for me to practice violin. It's kind of been defunct as a game room. Like, my dad has his office set up in here for his stuff, but I use it for streaming because it's mostly soundproof, not 100%, but mostly, and it's kind of like situated in a way that's like out of my parents' way as much as possible. Again, with the soundproofing, but also, like, I'm not in a room that's, like, in a connected area in the middle of the house where everyone can hear my shenanigans. And not everyone here needs to hear my shenanigans. But also, it's clear across the house from where the router and modem are set up. It is way too impractical to set up an Ethernet cable around the house, all the way around this room, the living room, through the hallway, and to the bedroom where the router modem is set up. And even then, like, the door is also part of the soundproofing. Like, we would compromise the soundproofing of this room entirely and defeat the purpose if we tried to set up an Ethernet cable that way. And I would just prefer being in this cutoff mostly soundproofed area for live streaming and now for Let's Plays on the weekends when I'm done with work, and even while I have at least one of the parents in the house. I'm trying not to disturb them. Like, it's really cool of them to let me do this here to kind of take up space, and especially my dad's space for if he ever needs to do stuff, to do my shenanigans. And I'm trying to be and I want to be as accommodating to them as possible. And as much as I would like to rent even just a simple 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom apartment. As far as I've seen, it's been a while since I last checked, but I'm sure nothing's changed, or if they have, it's even worse. Even just a 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom apartment here is way too expensive to afford. You could probably see on some of my posts on Twitter, especially on my webcomic account, I straight up hate this country. And it's going to be a long while before I potentially can be able to afford a place of my own. And just doing that and getting a new setup with an Ethernet cable is not in the cards for me. It's not gonna happen anytime soon. So if I do continue to stream, even without the recent Wi-Fi issues, even if everything corrects to the way it was before I went on vacation, I will still be at the mercy of the weather to keep me from content creation, even from just when it's just raining. And like, even if I live with where I live, like, there's weather stuff a lot every now and then, and there's a significant chunk of the year that puts me in a place where I'm not going to be able to stream. And I think I have it written down on here on this doc, but the also reminder that I'm a part-time cartoon VTuber and webcomic artist, because it's part-time because the other time I work a full-time job. I only have time to make content on the weekends. So, yeah, with all of that in mind, with the stuff with the Wi-Fi, even just with the Wi-Fi, it makes so much more sense to do the Let's Plays. And also another thing with the Wi-Fi that you probably might have noticed, it's distracting. It is very, very distracting to me when the Wi-Fi isn't cooperating 100%, or it looks like it's going to be iffy, because I'm keeping my attention on the YouTube side of things and OBS and a little gauge thing on OBS to see if my connection's going to be iffy and to make sure like the stream isn't going to cut out altogether. Like, it takes away from what I'm doing. I can't focus on the game or enjoy the game as much as I should because I'm just watching the stream, and that's like another contributing factor to why I'm not quite on the ball as I'd like to be as a streamer. But another thing about that, so I guess I don't really need to put it on here. I just think it's a kind of a funny little thing to note, because it's like the Wi-Fi thing should be a bigger factor, but it originally wasn't when I hard decided to do this. I even kind of forgot about the Wi-Fi issues, and it's like the last stream that I did before my vacation, it was raining, and the Wi-Fi connection was a bit spotty in the beginning, but it's like, even with that, I totally forgot about the Wi-Fi stuff. Everything else with the viewers and just my attitude with streaming, that was my big motivation to go through with this. It's kind of, yeah, like, because the Wi-Fi thing honestly wasn't that bad on the whole, I would say. It was very obnoxious when it happened, and it distracted me from my stuff, but it wasn't that bad. But the weird Wi-Fi issues recently have been making it a bigger factor, to the point where it's the reason why I'm quitting live streaming now. When I first thought of this, I was originally gonna hold out until at least the 2-year anniversary mark on November 11th. But then I decided I shouldn't really put it off, especially if I really want to do this. I should just try and do it sooner. So I was originally going to do another streaming series that I thought would work better as a live stream than a Let's Play video series. But then this Wi-Fi stuff started happening, and I didn't want to take a chance. I am just so annoyed with how spotty the Wi-Fi is and how much it just puts me on edge. Like, it was enough to drive me to just try and get through the last game and be done with it. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. Saying to hell with streaming and going to Let's Plays. And I'm still really kicking myself for not thinking about this in the beginning. Like, this is everything about it, especially with my attitude with streaming and how much I enjoy Let's Play, with watching Let's Play videos and just the videos instead of streams. Like, that should have just been the thing from the beginning. But I was just so wrapped up in the idea of getting into live streaming when I decided to become a VTuber. But that just makes me ask, why? Why should I feel like I had to be a live streamer to be a VTuber? Like, there's nothing about VTubing that says I have to do it. In my paranoia, I even just Googled VTuber and looked up a definition, and it's literally just content creator using a virtual avatar. Like, there's nothing about it that says it has to be a live streamer using an animated avatar. Doesn't even have to be a live streamer using an anime avatar. Like, despite how popular using an anime character is. You know? Like, okay, I'm sure this revelation is just a me thing. Like, I'm just drawing my own stupid conclusions when it's so obviously the case that it doesn't have to be live streamers. I'm sure people will see me making this discussion and just being like, yeah, no one said anything about being a live streamer. Like, you're the only one that's saying anyone making that case. Like, why making a big deal about it? Like, I'm sure people would be saying that. It's not the first time something like that has happened. Like, it's a me thing. Like, this is me and my stupid brains. But I feel like, but it's like, yeah, just look around and just about all VTubers are live streamers in some capacity. And even if not all of them, a vast majority of them. I feel like it's not any wonder I thought that was the mentality, that if you're a VTuber, you're going to be a live streamer. Like, I figured. And I feel like it's possible that other people have that mentality. Like, I'm sure there's probably someone out there who sees this announcement that I'm quitting live streaming and doing Let's Plays and is thinking, oh, but so you're graduating? So you're done with VTubing? Like, I feel like there's someone that's drawing that conclusion. I can't be the only one that's just this crazy. But yeah, like, again, it probably doesn't need to be said, but on the off chance that it does, you do not have to be a live streamer if you want to get into VTubing. Yes, it's popular, but VTubing, as I said, is just using an animated avatar instead of using just a webcam to show your IRL face, or both at the same time if you want to. There are plenty of VTubers that do that. Like, it's not always about the looks or keeping your real identity hidden. Like, there are plenty of reasons. And there are plenty of ways to go about it. Like, you can do all the stuff, video games, drawing, crafting, cooking, ASMR, or just chatting like this. Well, the just chatting like this might be a bit odd to do, not as a live stream, but it doesn't have to be. None of that stuff has to be doing a live streaming. Like, YouTube is still a big thing. Even without the live streaming function on YouTube, there are still a bunch of videos. There are still people making highlight videos of those streams, or doing other miscellaneous videos, or shorts, or TikToks. And it doesn't even have to be taken from stream. There are people making shorts and TikToks that are just using the VTubing model. Rin Penrose was the big reason why I thought of making shorts in the first place, because that was just a thing that she did a lot for quite a while. And just even the stuff that I've done. All of the other miscellaneous videos I did, like the shorts and the Smash Brothers Countdown videos, like, you don't make a video series almost 3 straight hours long without enjoying what you're doing, without enjoying talking about Smash Brothers, or enjoying making a video with a VTubing model. Like, yes, I'm sure that didn't need to be said. I'm sure there are plenty of people just looking at this and saying, like, yeah, no duh, dude. Why are you wasting time talking about it? We know. It's just, lots of VTubers are streamers. I know I'm an idiot for saying the obvious, but I just feel like I need to give some kind of detailed rationale for why I'm doing this. Why I'm quitting doing the most popular avenue to take VTubing in order to do something that's not quite as popular, not as traveled, a path not as traveled as it used to be. But I just feel like I needed to give some kind of explanation as to why I'm kind of sick and tired of trying to keep up with the live streaming angle when it's just not doing it for me. But again, to reiterate, if you really want to be a live streamer, go for it. Absolutely put in the time and effort to do it. I just want to take at least a little moment in this to kind of describe that to make it clear that there are other avenues to take VTubing. It doesn't have to be exclusively with live streams. But just like with the other two just chatting streams I've done, it's going on for way longer than I anticipated. I figured this would be less than half an hour, but it's already over 40 minutes, so, geez. I digress. So, moving on to Let's Plays. So just to give an idea on what things are going to look like, I'm gonna take a little while to prepare for this shift accordingly. And when I've got some prep work that I want to do. One of them is actually I'm going to relearn how to rig a model, and I want to make some updates to this. There's some changes that I need to make that are kind of long overdue, but I figured with this new change, probably be a good time to update. But my plan is I will return to, I guess, posting content normally, officially start the Let's Play journey after I have a decent backlog of videos recorded to post. I'll say like about a month's worth. Kind of take the same rule that I've done with my webcomics, especially with my Zelda parody. Get about a month's worth of backlog before I start posting. I have a few other videos planned. One I think I'm gonna try and get started working on before I do the Let's Play stuff as kind of a way to get myself mentally prepared for how I want to go about the Let's Plays. But another one that I have just about ready that I think I'll post about the halfway mark between now and when I start posting the Let's Plays, just to give you a sample of what the Let's Play videos are going to look like. It's just kind of part of an experiment. So that'll come up. But when I get to the point of moving on to the Let's Plays, I'm plan on posting one 45-minute long Let's Play video every day. One video a day, every day of the week. It's a lot. Halfway decent chance I might change my mind, but I feel like that would be a good way to make sure I at least pump out the same amount of content that I would with live streaming in comparison. But I'll also throw in a couple of miscellaneous videos in between that, if I can find the time to make. It might be a bit tricky with how I'm going to try and edit some of the Let's Play videos, but I was going to try to do that. At the very least, I want to try and make annual best of videos, because I wanted to try and do more highlight videos like the Mario Kart and Smash Brothers ones that I did. But I never got around to doing that because, like I said, work a full-time job and doing webcomics and all the other stuff and trying to find time to relax. And those highlight videos took quite a bit of time to make. So it'll be a bit tricky to try and do that, but since I'm not going to start with a full year of Let's Plays, this first one will be comparatively easy, and I can at least use that as an experiment. And yes, all the while, I will still be doing my webcomic stuff. I haven't had given a whole lot of updates on that. I said that I started working on chapter 5, and I did, of that Shield Kid, my original comic, but progress on that has been admittedly slower than expected. I have some updates to give in regards to the webcomic front, but that's going to be a separate update that I'm going to share. I'm going to have something ready by the time you get to the 9-year SD Comics anniversary on Saturday, May 25th. So look forward to that. But yeah, so in essence, that is my plan with Let's Plays. And if you have been following me all this time with my live streams, or sometime in the middle after I'd started, or if you even bothered to check out this VOD or read the Google documents, I want to take a quick moment as I'm wrapping up to say thank you. In spite of what I might have said about in spite of what I had said about the view thing and my attitude with streaming, and just content creation in spite of a lack of audience, I really do mean that every follow, like, comment, retweet, repost, view, lurk, or even just the slightest glance at anything that I've done, any of my videos, comics, live streams, drawings, anything, all the little bits just it means so much to me that I even get just a little look at something that I'm drawing and posting just because I want to draw and post, just because I love to create. I love making my art and just sharing it, regardless if anyone actually sees them. So even just the slightest bit of positive attention is just that nicer of a bonus. Like, I wanted to put out that it does mean a lot when you give me even just a little moment of your time. I am someone that just has so many ideas bubbling up in my head. And even now, I've got a lot of hopes and plans for the future. That in spite of this notable change in my content, steering away from the popular avenue of YouTubing, that I'm not going away. I have no plans and no desires to leave content creation anytime soon. And if you have been taking a passing glance or have just straight up been following me all this time, I hope you're willing to stick around for it, even if this path is different from everyone else. So again, thank you for checking this out or reading the Google Doc and everything. Though, I guess to match with my old streaming sign-off, thank you for checking the stream out. Thank you for stopping by, or thank you for watching the stream, if you're almost certainly catching that, and the Google Doc again. And look forward to a newer, better part-time cartoon VTuber and webcomic artist in not too far in the future. So yeah, once again, this is Stephen D. Comics, signing off live for the foreseeable future, probably for good, but not signing off of YouTube or VTubing in general. Until next time, have yourselves a good day. Goodbye.